Bam Margera in the news, and that usually doesn't spell good things as of late. You always have to be sensitive when tackling these kinds of subjects. I learned that when Ryan Dunn died about a decade ago. Like trying to make a video on that when I was far younger and more inexperienced and whatnot. You know, you have to tackle these videos, or you tackle these topics with, you know, a certain degree of couth and a certain degree of, you know, respect. And I'll say this right now, people roll their eyes. I grew up with Jackass. I watched Jackass way younger than I should have. I think all of us did in some ways. You already know. So, like, I felt like I grew connected to these guys. You know what I mean? Watching the movies, watching the show, grew connected to them, you know, in some way. Like, I was like, these guys feel just like me and my buddies. You know what I mean? Doing stupid, filming it, and doing, you know what I mean? Upping the ante. So I hate when I read unfortunate things about them. And unfortunately, Bam Margera has clearly not been in a good place for some time now. And it really sort of spiraled about a decade ago when Ryan Dunn died in that car accident. And it's hard to believe Ryan Dunn's been dead for 10 years, but that's neither here nor there at the same time. Bam Margera entered rehab back in 2015, again in 2017, again in 2018, and even sought help from Dr. Phil in 2019, if you remember that. Remember that whole escapade. But
oh, yeah.
On February 11th, so just a little under a week ago, Bam went on an Instagram tirade aimed towards Jackass directors Jeff Tremaine and Spike Jonze. Fun fact, Spike Jonze also directed Her with Joaquin Phoenix. I feel like people forget that. And Johnny Knoxville as well was another subject of his tirade regarding his alleged firing. Now, it looks like he did get fired from the production of Jackass 4, because it's a little hard if you've seen the video. The video has since been deleted from Bam's Instagram account, but you can find it through the wonders of the internet. Nothing's ever really gone. But this was troubling, to say the least. And it was hard. At first, it was hard for me to believe he got fired just because of the state he was in that video. Clearly drunk, clearly intoxicated, vomiting. I mean, it's not a pretty video. It's a tough 3 minutes to watch, to say the least. But he talks about Paramount Pictures, who's obviously the owner of the Jackass brand. And Jackass 4 is set for a September release. I better get this damn vaccine by then because I want to see this in theaters. But that's neither here nor there at the same time. But Paramount's was putting him, I guess, through the ringer in terms with sobriety testing, urine tests, antidepressants, rehab counseling, and different things in order for him to be a part of Jackass 4. Well, he finally made this video going off and blasting Jeff Tremaine, blasting Spike Jonze, Johnny Knoxville, Paramount Pictures, in just an ugly video, to say the least. And then the following day, he followed it up with another video of him in a totally kind of different state. Didn't look great, but in a different state, talking about how he was seeing a bipolar counselor. And I don't know now. Like, this is a fluid situation. That's why I almost didn't want to talk about it, but I feel it bears mentioning. I don't know if he's going to be in it. Like, you don't really know yet. It depends, because the thing is set to release in September. It was supposed to come out last year, and they're filming it now. So you don't really know, though, if he's going to come back for it or whatnot. And Jackass 4, I mean, it's been speculated. It's been, 11 years since the last one came out, since Jackass 3D. I think it's been 11 years. And it was always expected. It was always expected or believed that Jackass 4 was going to be an homage to Ryan Dunn. There was even rumors that the movie was going to be called Jackass 4 We're Not Done, DUNN Yet. It was originally supposed to be, that was going to be the working title, was We're Not Done Yet. And it's going to be tough to, like, have a Ryan Dunn tribute without his best friend. I'll say that much, or have kind of the ethos of that there. But it's heartbroken. Bam hasn't been right in years. And before I throw it over to you, Dom, I'll say this too, because I was talking to Joe about the video earlier. And, like, you know what he looks like in that video? He looks just like his father. He looks just like his father. He looks just like his uncle, Don Vito. If you remember the ignominious Don Vito, Vincent
on the
Margera.
toilet,
yes.
Being beat up slapped around by his son.
That's his father. His uncle, though, Don Vito, the one that got, like, blackballed for molesting those girls.
Oh,
Don Vito, Vincent Margera. Look it up. That's a forgotten story.
we had, I don't know about you, Joe, but Steve and I have very fond memories of Jackass. But the truth is, it's like a really tragic like story surround. Like, there's hardly any happy endings here, or at least happy stories necessarily. So Johnny Knoxville was always the face of the brand and many times the de facto leader. But he was always suffering massive injuries to like his freaking testicles or whatever, or just massive concussions from boxers. But and then Steve-O was like the success story, and not more so in like just his recovery. But Bam,
Yeah.
Bam is like, is it wrong to say the troubled genius of it all, or maybe not so much genius, but just kind of like kind of for whatever reason at the center, in a weird way to put it. Maybe that's the wrong description, but really just Bam has always been there. He was doing Jackass things way back with CKY, Jackass-esque things, and just like skateboarding videos and doing really dumb ass shit on camera for CKY and a bunch of other stuff. So he's really kind of the progenitor of all of that. But it's always been an up and down. He's always been in that reality TV show spotlight, for better or for worse. Like he wasn't his like Bam's Unholy Matrimony or something.
Bam's Unholy Union.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like even like his marriage and stuff like that was always under the camera spotlight. So he's just kind of had that attention kind of aspect to him. I'm not going to say an attention whore necessarily, but more so just like the camera's just been there on record, or in this case on live now, pretty much his entire life, metaphorically speaking. But it's like that alone takes its toll on you. Just being raised in that spotlight, that having always been your job, pretty much, and just kind of having that aesthetic of this, slacker, kind of counterculture, kind of trash kind of thing. But then when your best friend dies, and in a very unceremonious, or maybe, how do I put it? Like, it wasn't Ryan Dunn, either himself or the person he was with was drunk driving, right?
Ryan Dunn was, I think, more than twice the legal limit drunk driving.
Yeah, so like he was at fault there, right? So that has an aspect to it. It's not like he died in a very heroic fashion or whatever. It's like he freaking died,
It wasn't Paul Walker, where he was just a passenger in a
right,
car accident.
Yeah, he was at fault. So it's like you kind of hold that to him as well. Like that'll always stick with you. And even 10 years on, that's freaking trauma there, dude. It's hard. It is freaking, it cuts deep. And it's clearly taken its toll. Who are we to say? Because, behind the cameras might be a different story. But it's hard to really say a behind the camera with Bam Margera because he's always been in front of it. So it's sad. I freaking love the Jackass movies, dude. I just love that content. But I still get fond memories of those old MTV sketches. Hearing that guitar riff, like that opening, it brings like warmness to my heart. And they've had a massive influence on all sorts of YouTubers and content creators. Joe and I love Mega 64. Those dudes are like, those are the children of Jackass, more or less. And I love Mega 64. So seeing Bam like this, like kind of one of the granddaddies of his genre, it's just really sad to see. So where it's going to go from here, I have no freaking clue. I just hope for the best because the whole situation has been sad since Dunn died. Things were looking up. He's like, oh, Steve-O recovered. Johnny Knoxville's like he's doing a movie with Jackie Chan. But like, so it's another low. Hopefully this rock bottom so that we can see our way back up. But
as we're basically hitting everything I want to hit on, it's sad to see. I did grow up watching Jackass, more so on MTV. Okay. I didn't get to see the movies until the third one was coming out. Then I finally got around to seeing the movies because my mom wouldn't let me go see those because she thought I would do the dumb shit you would see in those movies.
You had a responsible mother. No disrespect, Mom.
Like, so I would watch it in secret on MTV whenever I could, and I loved watching it. And like, yeah, I understood, like, just don't do it. And I looked at it like Tom and Jerry. Don't do that. I looked at it as like the Looney Tunes, but in live action is what these guys were doing. Because yeah, you see some of the stuff they would do, like. I will never forget. When I went to go see Jackass 3 with my friends in theaters, and we snuck in. My friend turned to me and he was like, "Why would he do this porta potty thing? It's obviously gonna get like crap covered all over him. Like, that's the point. Like, that's the art of it, is that they're gonna do it, and they're brave enough to do it, and dumb enough even to do it sometimes. It's a lot of fun. But in terms of this Bam drama that's going on right now, it's sad to see, man. Dom hit it right on the head. He was always in front of the spotlight off of Jackass. He had his own show. He was constantly helping with the Tony Hawk video games. He was in some sort of spotlight at some point constantly in a party cultural in a party culture, and like just being in front of the camera constantly. That, like, yeah, man, I'm not surprised he grew an addiction, and it's sad to say that. It sucks to say that. I'm glad that, you know, people like Steve-O have managed to get out of their addiction and stay strong. That is amazing. And like, you know, I just wish the same could happen to Bam, because the other guys, like, and like even Steve-O says, like, later on in this article that you can find on comicbook.com, he says, you know, should a bunch of 40 and something, maybe even 50 cases, 50-year-old have, like, be doing this movie? And it's just like, probably not, but, like, you know, that's what's gonna make it fun, is to see if they can do it. I hate to say that, but, like, that is what's gonna make it fun. And Knoxville did say the older you get, the funnier it is. So, you know, it's just like, I want to see this happen. I would love for the bunch to be there, but do I agree with them cutting him out of the set? Kinda, I do, because it's like, listen, Bam, you gotta get your shit together, man. It sucks, because he's been a pioneer there since day one, and if he writes sketches and they're gonna use them and they're just not even gonna have him in the film whatsoever, that sucks. I know they're only a week into filming and whatnot, and it sucks they would do that to him, but it's just like, Bam, this is for your own good, man. Like, and when you watch that Instagram video, if you find it through Reddit or whatever, it just shows you, like, no, they're in the right here by cutting him loose, because he has to fix himself. This is awful. Like, it's just the way he looks, and especially how that video ends, it's just like, it's not a sight to see for anybody, like, that you're fond of, especially for us who, like, grew up watching all of them when we were kids and just see him grow older. Like, I'm glad to see, like, Knoxville, like, his acting career is okay at best, like, in terms of, like, the roles he gets and whatnot. I wish, you know, he got way more, because to me the guy deserves it. And then, like, Steve-O redeeming himself, and then, like, the others as well, just, like, over time, like, just staying stable. I just wish, you know, the same could happen to Bam. And it's not saying, like, the guy hasn't gone through hardships, because we've touched on it with Ryan and just, like, his upbringing and everything. Like, it's hard, man, and I'm hoping the best for him.